Hello, everyone. This is Janet Jordy at Global Inspiration. Our topic this week is very interesting because our guest as well is very interesting. Our topic is depression and anxiety, and our guest, I consider her to be an authority because she has the experience and she is a lawyer and at the same time a nurse. Our guest is from New York City and she is originally from the Philippines and she was a lawyer working for DENR or Department of Environment and Natural Resources, a lawyer for Ombudsman, a lawyer for PAO or Public Attorney's Office, and she used to be an associate professor for criminology at University of Mindanao. She went to Australia to pursue Masters of Law and very impressive professional accomplishment. Plus, she gained two summa cum laude honors. Now, in addition to her legal profession achievements, she is a registered nurse in New York City. She has one son and followed her footsteps in the healthcare field and is also a nurse. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a pleasure and honor for me to call my former roommate, attorney and nurse, Angie Cordova.
Good afternoon. Thank you for that introduction. Good day to you, Miss Janet Jordy, to all the viewers and the wonderful people behind the Global Inspiration. Thank you for giving this moving platform where people all over the world can access and get this inspiration, especially this during this global pandemic. uh, I am very grateful for this opportunity.
Oh, thank you very much, my friend. So, for us who do not know where you're from in the Philippines, can you tell us where are you from originally in the Philippines?
I am from Davao City.
So you're from Davao City and you are now in America. What state and city are you from?
I am in New York City, in New York State.
Oh, okay. I need to visit you one of these days. So
Sure.
how long have you been here in America?
I've been living in New York City for 20 years now, 20 long years.
Yeah, just like me, 20 long years. You were in the Philippines. I know I introduced you. You've been working in different government agencies and you work as associate professor for criminology at University of Mindanao. Do you need to add something or did I cover everything?
Oh, I work with the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. I also
Mm-hmm.
work with the Public Attorney's Office.
Mm-hmm.
I also work with the Office of the Ombudsman from Mindanao.
Okay.
And it was this office who sent me to Australia to study Masters of Laws.
Okay. So you have a very successful life in the Philippines. You were a lawyer. So what made you move from the Philippines to USA for 20 years? You've been staying here for 20 years.
When I was finishing my Master of Laws in Australia, I have a cousin in America who was convincing me to join her in America. So I came to New York tagging along my 9-year-old son. So I
Okay.
did.
Yeah. So we were a lawyer and I know a lawyer is a very successful job. I know all degrees are, I salute all degrees, all 2 years and 4 years degrees. But when you study law, you study 4 years in college, you proceed 4 years, 4 years for to get a law degree, and then another year to review. It's considered to be a successful degree. It's strenuous, but considered to be successful. So why did you move your career from being a lawyer to being a nurse?
Yeah, actually, lawyering is my passion. Actually, it's my number one passion. But when I came to America, uh, it, mind you, it was never easy. It was never easy to settle in a first world country like America.
Uh-huh.
The first year that I tried to settle in America, I worked as a babysitter and a housekeeper.
Mhm.
And when I was working as a housekeeper, I cleaned apartments and
Oh,
toilets. It was those moments when I cleaned toilet bowls, hugging them, that tears flow down my cheeks.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like questioning myself, Miss Janet. And then I was like, what
Oh,
am I doing here?
yeah,
What am I doing here? I'm a lawyer in the Philippines.
exactly. Exactly.
And then like but life went on, and then I found a paralegal job.
Mm-hmm.
I found a paralegal job, and then but paralegal job, it doesn't pay that much, so I was working part-time as a caregiver on weekends.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was during this time that I discovered that I have another passion, taking care of sick people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So that was during this time that I have to go to nursing school, so I
correct.
did.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you were sharing that you were hugging those toilet bowls. So I want to share with the audience that my first job, I used to be working at the hotel as a receptionist, auditor at night. And one of my jobs is to throw away the trash.
Okay.
It's rotten and it smells, but you have to get it up. I'm a small lady, and then it was snowing, and I could not help but cry. My tears flowed in my cheeks, and I was just like, "What am I doing here?" You know, my life in the Philippines is not this hard. We have maids, but hey, you are in America, and that what make us strong. So I have a
That's true.
question. Yeah, correct. So I have a question for you, attorney. I know you have a lot of issues with your patients. But this week, we need to focus on depression and anxiety.
Yes.
So, can you give me two reasons why do you focus on depression and anxiety?
Yeah, I want to focus on depression and anxiety first because depression and anxiety, especially right now during this COVID-19 pandemic, there are a lot of people in the world who are suffering from depression and
Correct.
anxiety.
I agree.
Yeah. The quarantine protocols, the a lot of people are compelled to stay in their houses. Being confined in the four corners of the house
Mm,
triggers depression and anxiety.
correct.
Triggers depression and anxiety. And second, like in our society, Filipinos, depression and anxiety, the symptoms are being ignored. And if
Mhm,
you are going for treatment, that is a big stigma.
mhm,
Stigma. Like you are marked, like, oh, that is frowned upon, like, oh, he or she is crazy because
correct. Correct.
that is frowned upon. So everybody or everyone should be informed that one, if you have symptoms for depression or anxiety, you have to go to the doctor, especially if you are suicidal, you want to harm yourself or other people, you have to call 911
Yeah.
or go to the nearest hospital and get help and be treated. That's very important.
So is it okay if I call myself I am suffering from depression and I was not properly diagnosed by a doctor? I was just telling that to myself because I have all the symptoms that attorney Angie was telling me. Is that
No, you have first, if you cannot sleep,
mm-hmm,
you feel tired,
mm-hmm,
and you cannot eat. It's
mm-hmm,
also like you don't want to eat, and or you are overeating or you're oversleeping,
mm-hmm,
like you don't want to come out,
mm-hmm.
you are just staying in your room, you don't want to talk to friends, and you are thinking of deaths, you feel suicidal, especially you want
Exactly.
to hurt yourself, you want to hurt people. That is very dangerous. You need help already. You need help.
Oh,
That is very alarming.
okay.
I'm telling you.
Thank you for sharing that. So can you name two challenges and two accomplishments now that you're focusing on depression and anxiety? I know it is hard. It is mentally and physically a challenge, but can you name some two or maybe one challenges and accomplishments?
Oh, the first challenge that I have, like, I am a psychiatric nurse. As a psychiatric nurse, I am working in a highly maximum security facility run by the state of New York,
Mm-hmm,
uh, which holds patients, mentally ill patients who have criminal offenses.
mm-hmm,
And they're highly psychotic. and they can, you know, they can attack you anytime. They're highly dangerous.
Oh,
And I was administering medications and
okay.
I was assaulted
Oh, really?
while administering medication.
Oh my gosh.
And so I was injured
Oh my goodness.
in the presence of so many bodyguards. They were not able to defend me during the time.
S-
So I got injured. I had a lot of
Oh,
injuries. So I was out of work for a while. So I was in severe depression. I have headaches, I have injuries in the spine, I have injuries in the arm. I was not working for a while. So I have PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder. So I
okay.
have anxiety and I have migraine headaches almost daily. So I was depressed. I will not go out. I have anger outbursts. I will not talk to anyone.
Mm,
I was just staying in my bed. I was so angry with myself. It is so unfair, you're
yeah.
angry with the world. But luckily I got help. Now I got medication and I'm on therapy. Thank God.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And then that was my first challenge. And another thing, my second challenge was my son. During the height of the pandemic, my son got sick for
Oh,
a month, Janet, and I was so scared.
oh.
I was so afraid. I mean, I
He,
feared for the life of my son.
so he was COVID positive.
Yeah, during the time, we cannot submit him for testing because the testing for COVID-19 was scarce. It was during March and April.
Oh my gosh.
It was so scarce. It was not available. So for a month, his symptoms was on and off.
Uh-huh.
And I have to do the protocols. And I myself, I feared for my life. And
Uh-huh.
we don't have family here. What will happen? I was so scared. If
Correct.
something happens to me, who will take care of him? And I have to my depression and my anxiety went to the roof. And I
Mm,
just have to pray and have to request my family, my friends, and even the Oblates of Notre Dame sisters in the Philippines. I have to ask them to pray.
okay.
I was so scared. And then thank God that Simon get out of that. But of course, I'm still praying that the vaccine will be available soon. It was
Okay.
really a challenge. And it wasn't easy. This pandemic is really scary.
Okay.
It's not easy.
It's not easy.
No.
Yeah, so those are the, you can wipe your tears now. I am crying too. But those are the challenges. Can you share accomplishments for depression and anxiety that you focus on this in this field?
Of course, my accomplishment that I can say now is that I managed to stand up now. I Because it took me a while to do my surgery. I did my surgery recently and I did my psychotherapy and I agreed to accept a medication for my migraine that goes with it, also the anti-anxiety med and also the antidepressant. One medication which also like one stone hits three birds, like one medication will also help me for as antidepressant and anti-anxiety. So that would help me. I hope it would help me so that I can get back into my toes, and hopefully if all my pains will be controlled, I can get back to work and
Okay.
be back to my old self and be calling the shots and be helping people again and be on the floor. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I'm looking for, Janet, to be back on the floor and
Yeah.
working.
So can you share with the viewers, just to be just to be sure, that you are suffering from depression right now, correct?
Yes,
And
but
you,
I can I'm managing now because
yeah,
I'm on psychotherapy every week, and
okay,
I'm taking medication. My medication is that is I'm the medication I'm taking is for my migraine.
okay,
And it so happened that my migraine medication also helps with my
yeah,
depression and my anxiety. So that
okay,
that will be helping me.
Okay,
So
that's
it's
good.
really important for people who are suffering with this kind of ailment to go to the doctor and have them checked so
Okay,
that they can be helped.
thank you. Thank you for sharing that. That is really good thing that we know about this information. So I have another question for you. It says here, is there an increase of patients now that we have COVID or a decrease? Is one way of saying it, how does COVID affected the depression and anxiety field?
Actually, I have to research a study for that. According to a study conducted by Sisler et al. In June 2020, which was published in Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report of the U.S. Department of Health, dated August 14, 2020, entitled Mental Health, Substance Use, and Suicidal Ideation During the COVID-19 Pandemic in the United States, June 24 through 30 of 2020.
Okay.
The prevalence of symptoms of anxiety disorder was approximately 3 times those reported in the second quarter of 2019. That is 25.5% versus 8.1%.
Oh my gosh, that's high.
That's high.
That's really high.
Really high. And I'm not finished. And the prevalence of depressive disorder was approximately 4 times that reported in the second quarter of 2019, which is 24.2% versus 6.5%.
Oh my gosh, that's a big jump up.
That is
That's
a big
yeah,
jump. That is a
yeah,
big jump.
yeah.
And that is a study conducted. It is a real
Mhm.
study.
Yeah, you're not talking it basing with your experience, but you're talking it based on studies that were
Recent
conducted.
study, and it's reported on the Morbidity and Mortality Weekly Report. They can search that.
Yeah, yeah. My next question is, I know life in America is hard, it's challenging, but it's colorful. And we
Yes.
do a lot of community service. It makes our heart, it gives us joy to do community service. Have you done, during your stay in America for 20 years, have you done any volunteer work? And if you did, can you name maybe one of the nonprofit organizations that you work for? Or how do you volunteer?
Actually, before my accident, work related accident, I was active in doing volunteer work. I helped the Filipinos in the Filipino community realize their American dream. I helped them in the processing of their green cards.
Oh,
Yeah, in their divorces and the citizenships. And also, I help this not-for-profit organization, particularly Hijos de Davao USA Incorporated. The mission of Hijos de Davao USA, one of their mission is to help the Filipinos in the Philippines, especially the poor and the destitute, and also those who are victims of calamities and natural disasters. And actually, like I think they already help those like the Taal volcano victims. They
okay.
already extended help.
That's good. That's
Yes,
see, when you do a lot of volunteer work, it makes your heart, it makes you feel good. You know,
yes, yes, I know it
I know,
does.
I know, and you will not be where you are right now if there's no person that inspires you of who you are. Can you give me a name or not a name? Maybe can you share someone, a name or you becoming Angie Corotan?
Actually, I the I admire Saint Teresa, or like Mother Teresa of Calcutta, India.
Okay,
Yeah, she is a nun, a Catholic nun. Actually, she was honored by the Roman Catholic Church. She's now Saint Teresa, and she is a recipient of a Nobel Peace Prize because she was helping the poor and the destitute all over the world.
yeah, and
That's
yeah,
outstanding.
and I agree with you that Mother Teresa, even though she's dead, a lot of people are following her footsteps because
Yeah,
yeah, she touches so many lives, and she was so humble. She was
yeah.
so humble, even though we consider her to be somebody. I don't want the interview to be cut off. But Angie, I know you are a lawyer, you are a nurse. Can you share some inspirational thought to our viewers?
Oh, okay. To all the men and women out there, I want to say this: do not let any setback in your life prevent you from reaching your dreams. You can do it.
Mhm.
All you need is focus and hard work. As my mother would repeatedly say when I was growing up, there is no glory without sacrifice.
Correct. I agree.
I know you would agree with me, Janet.
I know. I know. And for me, I keep on telling this to my friends, life is what we make it. If a door flashes on your face, open a lot of windows. Those windows could be brighter, could give you more space, could give you more light. And it doesn't mean that we need to use a door. Life is what we make it. Thank you very much, Attorney Angie Cordova, who is also a nurse in New York. I learned so much about depression and anxiety, and I have a niece who is suffering from depression right now, and I hope that she can surpass all these challenges. This is Janet Jordy at Global Inspiration, where you need to be seen, need to be heard, and be an inspiration to the world. Thank you very much at maraming salamat.
Thank you.